Sam,
Jayme, and Caleb Garms, reporting for Southern Gospel Blog. We are at the Garms family home in Bram.
and with us today is Mr. Daniel J. Mount.
Thank you for letting us interview you today, Daniel.
Glad to be here.
Let's start off with our questions. Since you are the editor of SouthernGospelBlog.com, one of Southern Gospel's largest websites, let's begin with talking about the history of this site. Why did you start Southern Gospel Blog?
I started it the week after National Quartet Convention in September 2006. I had, from time to time on different forums, started posting CD reviews and some early commentary.
Okay.
And I ended up concluding that I was doing so much of it and had an interest in doing so much of it that I may as well give a try to starting up a site and seeing if anybody would visit.
Okay.
What is your favorite part about running Southern Gospel Blog?
I'm not sure. I like every aspect of it, except for dealing with people who try to stir up trouble in the comments and are fully aware they're trying to stir up trouble. That's the one aspect I don't like. I love all the rest of it. So.
Okay. What is the weirdest request or question that you've ever gotten as a blog master?
Well, the weirdest one I ever got came to my P.O. box about 2.5 years ago. And it was a brightly colored padded envelope. And it was it wasn't just a regular normal bubble wrap padded envelope. It had like a plasticky outside. It was like bright spring colors, and it was the middle of winter or something. And now my website's P.O. box is P.O. Box 1011, Arden, North Carolina 28704. But this didn't say it was addressed to SouthernGospelBlog.com P.O. box, and then the P.O. box. It was addressed to The Cathedrals, P.O. Box 1011, Arden, North Carolina 28704. So naturally, I'm somewhat curious, and I opened the envelope to see what was being sent to me. And somebody was submitting a song, pitching a song to the Cathedrals via my address. Basically, what looks like happened is they probably Googled the Cathedrals in some form or search phrase, and an article came up on my site about the Cathedrals. So they came to the news article on my site, went to the contact page, got the P.O. box from the contact page, and submitted a song, and the cover letter was hilarious because it said how much the individual closely followed the Cathedrals, how much she loved their music, and how much it meant to her. And evidently, despite how closely she followed their music, she was unaware that they had at the time been retired for 12 or 13 years. That would have to take the cake.
Oh boy, you wrote a book on presidents. Who had the biggest frown?
Biggest frown. George Washington was always pretty serious. It's thought, well, but you see in his diary when he was a child, he wrote about how he had different entries in his diary through the years. And when he was a child and into his teen years, he'd mentioned broke a tooth eating a walnut, not having cracked the shell open, and broke a tooth.
Oh.
And then he'd mentioned another kind of nut that he was eating and cracked the shell open, tried to crack the shell open and broke a tooth on that. And it's thought that it may well have been the case that not all his teeth were replaced, or if they were all replaced, that they didn't look anything like normal teeth. So he, especially for his paintings, he pretty much never smiled because he didn't want people to see his teeth or perhaps lack thereof. So he was always pretty serious. And I have to think through each of them, which will take a while. But that's the first one that comes to mind, which it would make sense that he'd be the first one to come to mind, I suppose.
Okay.
But he's the first one to come to mind.
Okay. What motivated you to write The Faith of America's Presidents?
I was looking for an in-depth book on the topic, couldn't find any, and so I decided to write one.
That's a good solution.
Yeah.
How did you learn your alphabet?
When I was 18 months old or so, actually before I was 18 months old, my parents got a set of little wooden blocks with the letters of the alphabet on them. I think Dad even made them specifically. I think he had some kind of little device to burn the letter in and all that.
Oh, okay.
And I was just popping the different blocks up to my parents. Which one's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And they kept answering. Well, one time Dad's brother came over. He saw me doing it, and he decided to turn it around. He started picking up blocks to me, saying, "What's this? What's this? What's this?" And I started answering, and evidently I already knew the alphabet. 18 months old.
Wow! Amazing.
Very impressive. I don't think I knew my alphabet by 18 months old.
I don't think I did either, because I couldn't talk when I was
Well,
until
I
I
couldn't
was
talk.
2.
I couldn't talk in complete sentences at the
Oh,
time, but
no.
evidently I knew my alphabet. Evidently.
I couldn't say one word until I was 2.
Okay.
I didn't even have
I'm not
teeth
sure
when I
what
was
age I was before I learned to say, the exact phrase one word. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
How many states have you been in?
How many minutes do I have to answer this question?
An unlimited amount of time.
How limited?
Unlimited.
Oh.
So, but it has to be within 1 to 5 minutes. Because
Okay.
we well, you can only answer this in
How about I just tell you
10
this?
seconds.
I don't think I can name them all in 10 seconds. I have been to Idaho, Colorado, Minnesota, Georgia, Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, the District of Columbia. I don't know if I mentioned Pennsylvania yet.
No.
No, Pennsylvania. And then whatever states lie, New York, and then Connecticut, and Massachusetts, but Kentucky, I think I said Kentucky, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
Tennessee.
Connecticut, Tennessee, I believe I said Tennessee, but if not, yes, Tennessee. You actually know it better than I do. But Connecticut and Massachusetts were when I was really little, like 18 months or 2 years old, so I don't really remember them.
Okay. You've been in 18 states, according
Okay.
to my recollection.
How about you?
I have only been, alive, I've only been...
You have 10 seconds.
I've only been in 4 states alive.
Okay.
I've been only in 4 states. And compared to...
And how many have you been in outside of the time that you were alive?
I don't know. Now it's time for off-the-wall questions.
My favorite part. Number 1. What would you do if we left an empty glass teapot on a running stove burner?
Okay, the answer to your question is, it depends on the condition in which we find the teapot.
Alright, my turn. No. We have to
There's a little bit of a story.
Okay.
There was one time, I was in college and at home on Friday,
Okay.
and I was doing some research, writing an essay or something,
Okay.
and Mom popped in the study and mentioned that if I could come out at 45 minutes from that time, whatever it was, and prepare noodles.
Okay.
And she said the water was on and it'd be boiling.
Okay.
And so I can focus, and I was really focused on the research,
Okay.
and I didn't notice anything was out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out into the kitchen, and the water for the noodles was still cold. It wasn't on at all. Meanwhile, Mom had turned on a different burner.
Uh-huh.
She turned on the burner on which we had the glass tea kettle.
Ouch.
Oh dear.
And the glass tea kettle had cracked in several places. It was white hot, sizzling, and the plastic handle was starting to melt and drip through one of the cracks into the teapot, and was starting to venture from that crack, or from the crack where it dripped in, to a crack where it would probably get out under the burner.
Oh dear.
Meanwhile, the tea kettle was just sizzling and popping, and it was almost like it was starting to expand and contract, and I thought this thing could explode at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this is not a good situation.
Uh-uh.
And I thought if it explodes in the kitchen, it's going to be quite a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, the tea kettle's already toast. The only thing we can do at this point is keep it from exploding inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it to the back door and threw it as far as I could throw it, which was probably 20 feet,
Okay.
maybe more.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a good thrower when I've got a tea kettle that's going to explode if I don't throw it at the distance, and I want to be a decent distance from the explosion. I mean, yeah, a lot of people could throw farther than they normally could in that kind of situation. And I threw it, and as it was landing, it exploded into many pieces.
Okay.
Wow. Did you have to clean that up afterwards?
I think, well, we waited a couple hours for the glass to cool down. We ended up going out and getting it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did it explode before landing, or did it just suppress
On
from
impact,
landing?
I think. But it seemed like it was about to go at any time.
Okay.
Wow. That's good.
Wow.
Why do you like wearing bow ties?
I worked at a job where I had to wear a tie to work every day for a year and a half. And all the other men wore normal ties, and it was, I don't like being normal. And long ties have a habit of getting caught in things. The door when I close the door from the car, door when I close the door at work, they just have a habit of getting caught in things. So I did take up the habit of wearing bow ties.
Okay. Makes sense.
Sorry. Can you pick all three of us up at once?
I can at least pick up you and Jayme at once. Not sure about Sam.
Sounds good. No.
Would you show us?
Sure.
No.
Stand clear. All spectators.
Stand clear.
Caution, do not
Stay
enter.
right here.
Okay.
Stay right in front of them.
Okay. Oh, he did! Wow, he did! Wow.
I may be able to do with Sam, but I'm not going to risk it on camera at any rate.
If anything, if you would have tried, I would have stand in the front, so if we fell forward, I'm flat enough so I wouldn't get any flatter.
My concern is Jayme becoming as flat as a pancake.
Thank you for answering our questions, Daniel.
Glad to do it.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Now it's time for the off-the-wall questions.
My favorite part.
You're not supposed to scratch the wall.
It wouldn't come off the wall. It wouldn't.
Now it's time for the off-the-wall questions. My favorite part.
For you.
Now it's time for the off-the-wall questions for the third time. No! The table run up soon.
The question is now off the wall.
And with us today is Mr. Sometimes I'm really frustrated. Reporting for Southern Gospel Blog.
Thank Caleb. I was gonna ask my
No.
okay, start all over. Come on, we're wasting time.
This would be a lot easier if you weren't here. And with us today is Mr. Daniel J. Mount.
Thank you for letting us interview you today, Daniel.
It's an honor to be
Actually,
here.
tonight. Caleb! Rolling over. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your time. Be quiet.
That will make the blooper reveal. Thank you very much for your time. Be quiet. That is funny.
This is Sam.
Jayme and Caleb Garms
Reporting for Southern Gospel Blog.
.com. Bye!